Alright, hello and welcome to a little exploration video. I've been working on Mori, now known as Magimura, for a few weeks now, a month or so, trying to get new player models in. And while I was working on that, I decided to take a look at some old files that I found, with all the old worlds and everything. So I wanted to take a little time to show off what Murray used to be, and hopefully in the future I'll improve on it. Currently I am in the 0th world. This was the first world that I tested things around in. There's a big checkerboard floor with some angles in 4 directions. Then we've got a couple of houses and some player models out here that are animated. I'm going to go into the scene view to get a better look at that. The models are all sorts of messed up because it's been, oh gosh, almost a decade of working on this game on and off, mostly off. These are originally a model of one of my partner's characters with a rabbit with headphones. They were going to be the musician, the KK analog from Animal Crossing. Might still be, but definitely gonna need to redesign the model. Then we've got another friend's character with a backpack. They were going to be a shopkeeper. Probably going to replace them, unfortunately. And then we have the introductory character, the character that was supposed to be the first person you meet when you get introduced to the game. They would help you set up your character through dialogue, just like the original Animal Crossing. And they would do it while you're having a conversation on the train, so that's why they're sitting down. Their legs are all sorts of messed up for reasons unknown. Just Blender animations and Unity didn't work too well together at the time, I guess. Or at least I didn't know how to utilize them. We've got a couple of houses here. These are definitely going to be replaced. Uh, Already have been replaced, but can't show you that yet. There was supposed to be a flower bed that you plant flowers in. Then the windows would light up. You could paint your roof with different colors. This one, sort of a different style house, with a little awning over here. There would also be a flower bed that you could plant flowers into alongside it. I didn't like these because they're too simple, just too plain, couldn't really come up with ideas for them. And the whole flower bed idea was a little annoying to try to set up and design around. If we go back into the game, I can come up here. These are prototype uh, acres. This one's got a river. This one is just flat. And then we have some back there that have ramps. Here's another river I just fell in. And here's the ramps. I was happy with the way that the ramp acres came out. Not so much the river acres. These were very simple to do. I just had a lot more fun with them. And in another world, another scene, another room, we've got snowballs to look at. Over in the top left, we've got a bunch of debug info that's hard to see, so I'll move over here to show it off a little more. It mostly relates to player orientation and position, as well as I had touch controls that barely work, and so there are some values that populate with touch response. And then, of course, a little silly message that says, "Welcome to Debug Mori. If you're not a developer, go away." So we're going to move into this first world. And this is the rabbit character hanging out in a void, I guess. Oh, they're huge and untextured. Oh, I remember. This was an older player model that was another bunny, like the other rabbit from earlier, the musician. Just without headphones and the ears rotated around. If I could, I would show you the wireframe of the model. Action wire. No. Okay. So, unfortunately, no view in that today. But, oh, here we go. Wireframe. There we go. Never mind. We will view it today. Oh, goodness. Very, very simple models, not very well constructed. Especially the head, very low poly. And the hands way out of proportion, just way too small. But this is how the game was back in the day. Over in this world, I played around with this one a lot more. It's got a lot more features. It's got a UI. It's got houses, trees, and the character models again. So if we go into play mode here, you'll see that the UI takes up most of the screen. This was originally supposed to be a mobile game, but plans fell through, mobile became unpopular, and so I just decided to move it into a more general direction since then. Here we've got new textures for most everything, just to deviate it a little more from Animal Crossing. Originally in the other world, I used Animal Crossing textures for all the terrain, but I opted to replace it at some point, and here's what the replacement was. There's a lovely grass pattern that I'm still a fan of, but we'll have to remake. Water texture I wasn't happy with, but it was fun to make. And then, of course, you can see I still have leftover Animal Crossing textures for the riverbank. Over here we have a clock. I think this still has its hands. Yes. It is currently showing the seconds. So this is real time. This isn't animated. This is done through math exclusively based on the system time. And I plan to have other furniture that has these sort of neat little features as well in the final game. Don't remember if this was supposed to go into your house or if it was just supposed to be an outdoor furniture, but for the demonstration here, it's outside. We have this Tori here. I would still love to include this structure in the game somehow. Just absolutely love them. I think they're neat. Then we've got houses arranged Animal Crossing style, all diagonal and everything. Still don't know if I'm gonna continue with that or if I'm going to change it to where they're all front facing. But one way or another, we'll have customizable houses. Here's the ramp acres again. And then there was another acre here that I can't get to. Let me find the player. Pause. Move them. Okay. Ah, yes, it's another set of cliff acres. This time with a waterfall that I can walk in and out of. I wanted to test using particles for like the water splashes. I didn't have a lot to work with at the time, so it's just using the default Unity particle. But I'm a fan of how it looks, as long as I can get it to be a little smoother, more intentional, then I'll go with it. You may notice sometimes when I'm walking up slopes or down slopes, the character will animate. I have no idea why the character doesn't animate while walking around. It used to at some point, but now it only works on slopes. We've got more cliff acres here just to show some connectivity. And I think it was also to fill out a test size for the town. Currently there are, I believe it's 4x4. So 1, 2, oh, this one's only 3x3. Okay. Let's see. This one, it's this world. Oh, these buttons don't work anymore. Okay. So we're in world 3 now. And this is the world with test snowballs. Let me hide the canvas again. And this is a different test character that I had. They're a mannequin wearing a scarf. I wanted to test cloth physics, jiggle bones, that sort of thing. See if I couldn't get that working for some dynamic clothes. Definitely gonna have to go back to the drawing board on that. But for now, we can push these balls around. Kick them. Roll them down the slopes. push them off the cliff. Oh, I guess we can't. We can definitely roll them down, though. This world was just a little physics test, more or less. Just to see if I couldn't vibe out some interactive objects. Get some dynamicism in the game. We're going to World 4 now. This was a test for the pocketbook. So in the pocketbook, it would show your inventory, a map, and your bestiaries. It would show your character up at the top, and then all the items that you have in your pockets and equipped. This was going to be the map screen. This is where you would see the town and where the people are. This was going to be fish and bug bestiaries. And I was very pleased about getting a tab system working. I think it could use some work now, for sure. Because you'll see it just brings that tab to the front instead of like scrolling through them. So the layering gets all out of whack. This, I have no idea what this is. It is just a globe with a shrine gate, and the globe animates based on the hours. If I speed it up to use seconds, you can see it moving around the world and projecting a sunbeam. Like I said, I have no idea what this was for, why I made this. I guess it was to test the sun, because in Unity, if you have a real-time light, and you move it in accordance to time, it should simulate a setting sun and rising sun. So you can see it in the background there. And down it goes. So the original intention was to use that for lighting, but I didn't like how it still projects light at the bottom. The geometry would have to block the light, and that requires more rendering power, which I didn't like. So definitely going to find a new solution for this, but it shouldn't be too hard. This world is testing interactive objects. Let me hide the canvas again. So here we have the mannequin again. We have a couple of trees that you can touch. And then if I press the interact button, should delete it. So now I can walk where that was. I don't know why it's so finicky. I think it was distance-based. But eventually it works. This was just to test interacting with objects. So in the final game, you'll be able to interact with bookshelves, for example, to read books on the shelves, get some new information. Looks like I also use this world for testing map size. So this one is definitely a 4x4. Not a whole lot of objects in the scene, just size check, just running across from one end to the other, seeing how that feels. And I think 4x4 is a pretty good size, at least with the scale of everything. Because you can see the player is way down there, and it takes quite a good few seconds to get across from one end to the other. And for a mobile game at the time, this was definitely important to have a sizable enough world in order to make it feel large enough for the player to engage with, while also remaining small enough to not overwhelm the crummy CPUs on the phones. There's a hidden clock in the tree. All right. This... I have no idea what this is. Let's see. Let's unhide you. You. Oh, A1 was a prefab, I see. Oh, and bubble. Oh, is this the dialogue test? No. No, it's not. There's no player in here. Oh, this was the dialogue test. Okay. I guess the canvas is in world space or something. Yeah, I used Super Text Mesh, which is a great tool to test dialogue with. And you can use it in full production games, absolutely. And I just might go with that. But for now, looks like this scene isn't working. I can make it make a noise. All right. On to the next world. This world, I have very little clue what was going on. I remember I was testing interactive objects. I was testing cliff acres to go around the main part of the world, just to give you a little more space, but there's no collision. We've got a spare mannequin over here. Bunch of trees to interact with. And then a little garden plot in which you were definitely supposed to be able to delete these little orbs because you can walk on them. There we go. And then it would, I guess this is just the appearance of it being planted. I would show more, but I can't walk over there. And there's not much more to see. This is another copy of it. This one demonstrates the 4x4 world with the cliff acres. I don't know if any of this has collision. No. So won't be able to explore this like normal. Or we can fly around. Much more convenient. This shows off a 3-tiered town. And a bunch of trees. This world... Ooh. I do not remember this house. This is another test world, micro world, with a garden and a house. So if we come out of here... Okay, that doesn't have collision. Can't go up on the house either. Can't interact with the flower bed. I guess this was just to test some textures. I have no idea what these floating panels are for. Oh, this one. This one was to test tools. But, player doesn't move at all, doesn't animate. But they were supposed to be holding a bug net. And I believe at one point they were textured, but the textures are all missing. Got a teapot here, famous Utah teapot. Don't know why all the normals are messed up. Because you can see through itself. I think it's part of the shader, honestly. Alright, then we're going into... Ooh, the train scene. No textures, though. Let me see if I can't fix that real quick. Alright. So this place was never fully textured to begin with. And this character is facing backwards. But initially, you were supposed to be sitting here, looking out the window, and watching trees go by, and then your camera would turn left, and then you would talk to this guy while on the train, just watching him animate. This world has music. Made by Sue for the game. Definitely one of her favorite projects to make music for. However, I think eventually these will be replaced, or at least upgraded. Alright. There's another train car up ahead for some reason. Can't really see it anyway. But I guess it was just to fill in the space. All these chairs are just objects, so I can move them around. Or at least I could in Blender. And that is as far as this scene got. This is the library. It's a older version, and looks like the only textures that are really visible are the carpet. This was another one of those worlds where you could walk around and interact with stuff. Had music. And that's all there is to see. Some plans for it were to have like a little gathering area over here so you could talk to NPCs who were also visiting the library and reading. You could come over here and get your mail and, uh, well, other things that would be spoilers for now. And then we have one last room, and it's the same room, but with textures now. Mostly. So now you can see the mail basket, all the mail that's on the shelves, boxes, and all the books that populated the shelves. This is the one that you could interact with everything. The other one I tried but couldn't. So the plan was, again, to be able to read books on the shelves for various subjects, various hints, and read your bestiary entries. Then you would leave. Most everything here is intact. All right, that's all the worlds. Well, most of the worlds. There's a couple of other ones that I don't have in the project. Oh, yes, I do. Test. This one was to test eye tracking for a different player setup. You can see there's a tracking field where anything that goes into this this field is supposed to be tracked, but for some reason the code is broken and it no longer tracks to objects. Otherwise, it would offset the UVs for the eyes based on distance and relative direction. This was made by Minions Art, and I was just copying the setup and trying to adjust the code for my needs. Not sure if I'll continue with this method, but I'm hoping to. I would love to have eye tracking in the game just as a nice subtle feature. Right here, I believe it should be a working, well, used to work demonstration of text. It doesn't look like any of it's working though. So, can't fix it at the moment. Oh, I see. There's an error at the bottom that you can't see. Oh well. That is all the old files. Currently I am working on the revamped project with the character editor. Here we go. So I just revised the character editor recently. This is the old version that has all the static reference, well, not static, but all the public references to various objects, including all the skins, just in the appearance editor. That's wildly inefficient, uses up too many resources. So what I've done is I've converted it to use addressables, which allows me to dynamically load objects. So now I can use this to generate a new character. Ta-da! So you'll see that it happens over several frames. There's going to be particle effects to hide that. Teehee. And then as soon as I get hair and textures for the rest of the clothing, and then rig the player model, I'll be able to make a new demo with the world assets from earlier and see how the game plays from there. All right, thank you for watching. Hope you had a wonderful time exploring this with me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.